250. There were 250 unique shots throughout the doorway. 415. There were 415 unique shots in Chapter 4, A New Dawn. Every one of those shots, I planned out. This was definitely something that massively improved my work. And it was just simply planning out my shots. And I know it sounds very simple, but it was something that I was neglecting early on, and when I actually started doing it, it elevated my work so much. For the first 3 chapters of Children of the Watch, none of the shots were planned out. I basically had like the script, and then I was writing notes on the script, and that would tell us what shots we were gonna get. And I did this like the day before we would shoot a scene. So it was very last minute, and it wasn't really thoroughly thought out. But after I finished the project, I was looking through the footage, and I was, looking through everything, and I kind of noticed that I didn't have a lot of like iconic shots. There weren't things that I could look at and be like, this is like, this was what we worked for. This is what we did all of this work to get this one shot. And don't get me wrong, there were shots in there that I loved, but nothing had that like really special feel to it. And I really wanted to change that with Chapter 4. And so I decided like I need to make sure I'm thorough with this. I need to make sure that every shot has meaning, and that there's a lot of iconic moments that will stick with the viewer, that I can look to and say like, that is what I worked for. So what I ended up doing was telling myself that I need at least 6 shots storyboarded for every scene, with 6 iconic moments that could be used either in a reel or in the trailer, or something that would be like, this is a beautiful shot that I'm really proud of, and at least 6 per scene. And then for everything else, I needed to have a shot list that would list every single shot we were going to get for that scene. Now, the reason that I didn't do full storyboards is because I do feel like it can get a little bit tedious, and I think it was just more important for the iconic shots and the big stuff. And I don't really like to just be drawing, dialogue scenes or just simple medium shots or close-ups that really, in my mind, don't need to be visually represented. I can just type it out, and I kind of can easily see what I need to film when we're on set. And in my mind, this made a huge difference. I can look back on every scene from Chapter 4 and say, yeah, that was a shot that was beautiful. Oh, I really like that shot, or even that one. That one was really good. And I can do that for every single scene because I planned it out, and because I was like specifically making sure that every shot was purposeful and had meaning to it. It also helped with the sense of like satisfaction at the end of it. The final shot where it's the sun rising, the big drone shot where the sun is coming up and Din is walking away, the battle's over. That shot was planned very early on, and I knew that was the shot that I really wanted to get. And so when we were finally able to get it, and when it was finally, when we filmed it, and when I finally, saw it and was able to edit it into the film, there was just so many moments where I just felt like that's it. Like, that's what I worked for. That's what all of this is leading to. And it gave me this immense satisfaction because I had planned it out so far ahead, and now it was finally coming to fruition. And the same ideology I took over to The Doorway and planned out every single shot to make sure that there were those iconic moments and that every shot had meaning. And I think when you do that, not only do you get better shots, that's obviously the biggest thing, but you get a better understanding and a better connection for whatever you're making, because you're really taking the time to care about the little details, to care about the smaller shots, and it really will help elevate your work to just plan it out. On a side note, if you also plan out your shots beforehand, this is more of a technical thing, but you can know ahead of time, okay, we need this lens, we're going to be needing this equipment, we're going to maybe need a gimbal for an upcoming shot, or we need a tripod for this shot, or it's going to be handheld, and you can know that ahead of time. And especially if you have somebody on set who can be looking at your shot list and be looking ahead, they can kind of get ready, and it will speed up the process of filming because you'll know, okay, in a couple shots, we're going to need this lens, so you can have somebody get that lens ready, or we're going to need the gimbal shortly, so let's kind of get thinking about that. How do we need to set up the camera? How do we need to do that? You may be handheld and you're going to need a tripod shortly, so somebody can already have the tripod ready, and it just speeds everything up because you know what's coming next, and it makes the whole process a lot better, not just for you, but for everyone else on set, because there's not as much of that downtime where you're trying to decide, oh, you know, should I use this lens? Or should I use that one? Or should we do this handheld? Should we put it on a tripod? Maybe we could use a gimbal for this shot? I don't know. It takes out a lot of that, like, guesswork and thinking, and you're just going and you know that the shots that you're getting are what you want, and it's going to fit into your story a lot better. And also, it is completely normal for things to change on set and on the day because that's just what happens. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't plan it out, because from my experience, 95% of what we do is still the planned out shots. There's going to be that 5% where you do need to improvise, where you do need to change up a shot because something doesn't quite work on the day. But for the majority of what you do, if you plan it out, it's going to work, and it's going to take a lot of that guesswork out. It's going to speed up time on set, and it's just going to make your work so much better. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.